Welcome to Cambodia Business Week. Today's guest is Tomas Pokorny, and I pronounced that perfectly correct, didn't I?
In Czech accent, yeah, very well.
Tomas is, I could call you Thomas because that's how we know each other,
yes,
right?
Yes.
All right. Tomas is currently the CEO of PayPay, and you have to seen PayPay because PayPay is everywhere. And I'm sure now with the population is beginning to use this cashless wallet and paying for their shopping goods, for their foods.
For multiple things,
for multiple things. It's everywhere, right? And this I guess, just started a couple of years ago and has just taken off like crazy.
Yeah, I would like to see it taking more crazy, but it's not been bad. Yeah, it's.
So for those, Thomas is a returnee to Cambodia Business Week when you were sort of just launching. If I remember correctly.
I think we were doing maybe 3 months, 3 months when we were in last time. Yes.
And you were sort of getting your feet on the ground to sort of say how it's going to happen, how it's going to work, and what you're going to do. But now you got a good year and a half, I think,
18 months of operations. Yeah.
So you could tell us a lot more, and that's great. But for those who didn't hear the first show, Tomas, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so Czech Republic citizen. Now we changed the name to Czechia. Apparently,
it's not Czech Republic anymore.
I don't know why. It's like the globalization is taking over. So it's apparently officially Czechia.
Czechia. Is that how you say it in Czech? Is that why?
No, I don't. It's
no
strange.
Idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's what we hear.
Geography lesson today.
I think so.
Right.
Got into Cambodia maybe in 2011, 2012 with other fintech startup because with some partners I met in US, we wanted to do fintech business in Cambodia. Right. Didn't work out first time. We picked probably wrong time and wrong business approach because we are focusing more on cards. Through few other ventures, I got into what now is PayPay, into wallet payment services. Before that, it was online shopping, outsourcing. But yeah, I've been here now practically. It's my seventh year. Have my family here, so kind of becoming Cambodian.
That's right. How did you guys come up with this name, PayPay?
That's actually some people say PayPay because they think that it's number 2 from Khmer, like WP, but it's not. It's from number 3.14 from infinity. So our tagline is actually infinite possibilities. Pi is like 3.14 from the mathematical symbol, and because when we were thinking about the name and mission, vision, and all that exercise you do prior to start a business, we wanted to be payments, cashless payment for everyone, not just payments in the merchants, but e-commerce and infrastructure payments, which means utilities, electricity, everything else. So we put that infinite options essentially come with fintech. That would be in our core.
So I don't know if you guys were the first because you said you had some fintech ventures ahead of time that were being considered. So I don't know if you were actually the first to do the cashless wallet.
Not in its core to be saying that we are first, but I believe that PayPay was first that kind of embraced that entire cashless system. We didn't start with agents first. We didn't start with any cash dispensing or cash acceptance.
Was anybody else doing that? You could actually pay merchants at that time? I don't remember. I just think you guys were the first. That's all. On
the merchant payment side through QR code, I think that we might have been first. Yeah. There might have been some small ventures they tried it, but I think that on official commercial operations, we might have been first one. Yeah.
Okay, so. This was a big leap for Cambodia.
A leap of faith for us too. but yes, I hope it was.
Even the banking system it's no secret that Cambodians don't really fully trust the banking system here. It's still very low penetration. Some say 5% or 10% of Cambodians actually bank. Yeah, that sounds low, but
15-25. That's kind of likely within that range. Yeah,
I think when I first came here, it was under 5.
Oh, absolutely.
So 10 years later, maybe if it's 20%, that's still incredibly low for a population. Yeah. So you're moving from a population that has non-trust of banking system still, and then they're going to leap to payment systems. That sounds like a pretty courageous move.
Courageous, but at the same time, we believe, and everybody tells you that word. I'm repeating it too, and it sounds as a fancy phrase only, like this fintech is helping financial inclusion. But when you think about it, because of the lower barrier of entry it has versus bank account, because it's relatively easy to open a wallet with not just us, but with fintech companies. It's fully online, so you don't have to go anywhere. It kind of, you can say, people tend to give it a try, right? So they don't have to go through those hoops and loops and then just change their mind and waste their time going to the branch and opening bank account. But ultimately, we're working with banks, we're working with financial partners, and we're encouraging people to actually open bank accounts and then do transfers between us and the banks and from banks to us. One of the biggest cash-in channels is actually transfers from the bank accounts of our partner banks back to the PayPay. It's no longer that people would bring it's still there that people bring money to our hubs and to our branches and deposit cash to their wallet, but most of our transactions into the money in comes through the bank accounts.
And money out, the same thing.
We signed 19 agreements already with 19.
See, I'm a customer, and I didn't know I could transfer money from a bank account. I have ABA. Sorry, ABA, my favorite bank. I have ABA.
We're still improving that communication at level to teaching people what they can do. But yes, fully integrated is ABA. Right. Fully integrated is also Satapana Bank. Now fully integrated is Amret Bank. With Amret, there's specialty. Actually, you can do money transfer from PayPay to their account, and you also can take money from your account at Amret using PayPay application. So that's kind of a unique feature there.
It's really gone quite far.
And maybe 3 more banks will be coming live within the next 6 to 8 weeks. And most of them cost you nothing. It's free transfer between those accounts, or very low transfer. Again, it's all done because of that help towards financial inclusion. So I think ultimately not just through us, but through that industry. People will open more bank accounts.
The fintech area is getting very integrated. And the banks are beginning to cooperate. I think the banks at some point were sort of saying, I want to do my own wallets.
And they do. Many banks starting to but they do applications, really, because account and wallet will at that point become relevant. Regardless, you call it account, you call it wallet, it serves the same purpose, to have digital access to your finance.
We should back up a little because we're assuming everybody knows what we're talking about.
Fair point.
So, I'm in banking, you're in the payments service processing, and then we're having a conversation like we're having a coffee, but there's probably a large group of that audience saying, what are these guys talking about? What does PayPay do? What is a wallet, and how is it used? An e-wallet, sorry.
Well, I think that closest comparison, even though Cambodia is non-card country, but they were used prepaid cards in Cambodia. So I think the closest comparison to wallet would be a prepaid card. You have a facility. In our case, it's digital account. In case of card, it's card,
just
a
card. A debit card. What we know is a debit card, right?
So it's a facility where you can put your money in. So in case you have cash, you put it in your wallet. In case of mobile wallet, application serves for the same purpose. You put your digital cash inside of that wallet. Usually it's your smartphone, and then you use that wallet to open it up and pay at merchants and other places, or send money to it.
So you have a PayPay account which you cash in, I guess.
Deposit money in,
and then you can use that money as it's a debit as well. It's not a credit card.
Yes.
You have to have the money.
That's what I mean. It's prepaid. Yeah, right. It's debit account or prepaid card. It's probably closest comparison.
Now people think of debit cards as kind of extensive, like going to Aeon Mall and shopping in Pedro or getting airline tickets. How does a PayPay wallet work in terms of purchasing?
For now, and we expanding that service offering, especially from March this year onward. There will be many more surprises coming. But currently, you can use your mobile phone and scan QR code that is given to the merchants. So you come to the merchant in Aeon Mall, Pedro. You mentioned Pedro, right. So let's say Pedro, and you say you want to pay for $30 for a pair of your shoes. So they give you a terminal. On the terminal, there's a QR code that includes the amount and merchant ID and all the other details you need to know, and you scan that QR code, and money from your wallet, from your digital wallet, is being sent to the merchant, and you confirm it with your 6-digit PIN, the transaction.
But even I noticed in a lot of outlets, you just don't have to do the QR code. You can just put the PIN in. For tech geeks, including for me, QR code is the way to go, because it's easier. You don't have to touch anything. You're just touching your phone, but
in Cambodia, in many other developing markets, when you rely on internet connection, because for QR code, you need to have both internet connections. Your merchant needs to be connected. You need to be connected. You're in bad location that you have cell card and not smart, or smart and not cell card, where those other works. You are lost. You cannot do transactions. So we came up with something where you take the merchant terminal. He's connected, let's say, on Wi-Fi, so it's more stable. You type your phone number and your PIN code. So even without having your smartphone, you can still pay.
So now I know why you pay. There's a difference.
Yeah, but it's mainly done because of internet connection. If you want to be fancy, we should just do QR codes because that's the way forward to go, and that's more the technological solution. However, we need to enable it for as many people as possible. So we cannot have just one.
So I'm definitely a PiPay customer now. I think for a year plus. I think.
Did you sign up at the time I was having first interview?
Yeah, I did. I found it in the beginning. It was because you have over $100. I mean, you should probably explain this, not me, but I believe, there was. I do eat a lot, as you can see, but I do eat a lot. So I use it very frequently for food, for going to restaurants. And you need to keep because you take your family, so you need to have a reasonable balance. So in the beginning, it was this $100. You had to go sign and give your passport. So maybe you can explain the different levels.
So now, since we kind of, it works via fully licensed application. So central bank, who is our regulator, that they're giving us certain limits, and those limits were much stricter in the beginning because we needed to prove that our system works, that everything is according to standards. But now we have 3 levels of wallets. One is $50,
right?
But it's kind of, we call it PiPay Lite. It's for anybody can sign up, even if you are a student at university and you don't have yet your ID. It often happens because you just need to provide us your surname, birthday, and your phone number because you're signing up with your phone number. That gives you that $50 limit, and we call it PiPay Lite because it's more towards students population and people who just want to try it out, who never wants to go. They don't need to go to buy shoes. They go to coffee shops and buy small coffees and small snacks. Then our second level is PiPay Standard. For that, you need to upload your ID. So we kind of do something what we call in industry, know your customer, your KYC. So you upload your ID, you type your birthday and few other details, and that will unlock $250 for you.
Okay, so now it's up to $250.
Now it's $250. Right. But then there is third option. We call it PiPay Plus. That if you come to any of our hubs or branches or other partners that offer that service, usually you can look for the stickers, or in our application we have mapped that you can find PiPay upgrade points, and you can upgrade yourself to be PiPay Plus. What we need to do is that you come and you show the ID you register with in physical copy, so we actually verify face to face that is you, Anthony, who registered that application. We see that you have really application, and we will upgrade you to Plus account. This Plus account has limit $5,000. Okay. So that's for top spenders. Then you can already start doing.
You have a lot of those?
If I would say it percentage-wise, I would say that we have roughly 20% of the people who are PiPay Lite.
So I think I did this when it was $100 level.
Yes. Yeah.
So now I could do 5,000.
Or if you are standard. So
I gave my passport at the Domino's Pizza or wherever it was.
Then you can do 5,000. Yes. Okay. So I think that's 20% on PiPay Lite, 70% on standard. That's standard account, and 10% are those people who need to have bigger wallets and they do PiPay Plus.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the how you use it, because I mean not the QR codes or the PIN codes, but in terms of buying and purchasing. So again, maybe I'm learning a lot again today because you've taught. I thought I was at $100, and
I need to check it by the way for you. Yeah. What level?
No, I didn't realize you went up to the 5,000. There's some things that you have done, and you do have the app does tell you things. I just never pay attention, but there are things that have been that new things, initiatives that you have done. But for me, it's been definitely for restaurants. And part of that is no secret is that you have these discount programs.
Yeah, not everywhere, but many places do.
Right.
Yes.
And sometimes they're discount Tuesdays, or sometimes no discount, or sometimes good discounts. But I mean, the whole idea of this is to be a payment mechanism, as a wallet. And the fact that you get these discounts, just like credit cards or debit cards, you get discounts from those.
It's kind of rewarding the loyal customers, rewarding for you to come back and use that payment method.
So I use it primarily for restaurants, and I do understand you have shopping you can use it for, like we talked about Pedro.
Yes.
So have the merchants that are doing retail, Have they started to embrace it? Because it was in the beginning, it was really more like restaurants, right?
Yes, it was mainly actually first kind of adopters. You could say easily were coffee shops. We had probably we were like coffee shop brand when we started. First few months, it was mainly coffee shops, then a few pizzas, but then we grown out of being just that. Now we have around 3,500 locations across Phnom Penh, Siem Reap, Sihanouk, Choritom, and sector now includes not just F&B but the retail, supermarkets. So Kiwi Mart, for example, Thai Hood actually, but not so many people know yet because we haven't announced it. We're waiting for some big announcement maybe next coming month. But we are at Thai Hood, so we are Total gas stations. We are at Sokimex.
So you can buy gas.
Yeah, and Sokimex give you actually 10% discount if you buy it through PayPay. So pretty much now I'm trying it sometimes because it's not always easy because 3,500 location is not everything. We're targeting 10,000 locations this year, and means merchants, not agents, just proper merchants. It's still not enough. Sometimes you need to use cash, even though we're trying to change it, right? But I try some days just go fully cashless, and when you think about it, you can find breakfast places, you can find lunch places, you can find snack places, you can buy clothes through PayPay. Now you can buy groceries. You need gas. You buy gas with companies like Vigo or certain pass-up drivers. You can pay with PayPay as well. There is new company that's coming into Cambodia called Tada, some new service. This is actually this interview I believe is coming in a few weeks time from what we're making it. So they will be already here. So other ride-hailing applications. So you can buy that. And on top of that, what we launched a long time ago, but people are just starting embracing it now because maybe they didn't know, is e-commerce payments. So you can book tickets.
This is what I was going to ask. So if airline tickets, for instance.
You can already buy airline tickets, you can do hotel bookings, and you can do many things through PayPay application. So even Book Me Bus or Cambo Ticket, they are part of our app. So you can actually book those tickets through those. Do you remember Suzuki Cup? It was like big football match, maybe 3 months back in November.
I don't follow football.
I'm also not soccer fan, but a lot of Cambodians are. So you could buy actually tickets using PayPay as well, and then enter that stadium using the digital ticket. So there's a lot of things are changing in that industry.
So I've noticed, without dropping any names, that some of the let's say companies in your space have these credit card wallets or debit card wallets.
Like virtual cards, kind of.
Yeah, yes. Virtual. That's the exact word. Sorry, virtual cards. Is that something you guys are doing as well? Does it go through Visa and Master?
We have it at store. I cannot mention names of card providers that we'll be working with, but
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yes.
Right. So when you say you can book an airline ticket now, so if I wanted to book AirAsia, I guess, which is what everybody books from.
Yes. Not yet AirAsia, local airlines for now, but soon we partnering. We need to do one-by-one integration, so we're coming with them.
But I think the big one is the virtual card.
Yes, because then you can use it anywhere.
Is that? And I guess the NBC would have to look at that as a different approval product.
Anything you add practically, anything what we have on PayPay app needs to be always pre-approved by NBC. So when we have a new idea, it's not just that. I love to, but it's not. We live in regulated space, so we need to ask National Bank for approval. Once they approve it, because they assess risks and potentials of it, then we can launch it.
The National Bank to me has been doing a fantastic job in terms of conservative regulation in the market. Yes. And that dates back to when they really had to, because of, I don't think people that aren't here 15 years or 20 years realized that there was a very weak banking system in Cambodia, after UNTAC and all the, when things started getting back to normalization. But the banking system did have some failures, and that was, we're talking 20-something years ago. But since, the regime over the last, I was a banker here, so I know it's been very conservative. And to the credit of the NBC, there's when we had the 2008 financial crisis, we didn't have any issues whatsoever. There wasn't any weak banks. We had local banks here as well, and everything we got through the financial crisis much better than any of the developed nations did. So they've done an incredible job. On the other hand, we're entering a fintech world. And being as conservative as they have been, it's a necessity to start opening up to that. And they've been very clear on cryptocurrency that they don't want to see it, which I kind of agree. I'm not a big cryptocurrency fan.
Same here.
I don't understand it yet, and that's a shame for being in banking 30 years that you don't understand it.
No, but it's too new, too unstable for now.
Right.
I have similar opinion. Regardless, understanding or not, I think that it's still too much risk to expose it nationwide, for example.
Right. And but and a lot of this thing is done black market even today here, which is unfortunate. So it needs to be regulated. And I think some countries in the developed world are trying to take a position that these are real currencies and beginning to. When I saw Market Watch, which is the biggest financial site in the world, started telling me what cryptocurrency values are, then I started getting nervous that it's getting acceptance. But something came out, I guess, the last couple of days from there was that the NBC is going to embrace, is it called 4.0? And you know better than I do, right?
Well, you mean that entire industry 4.0?
Right.
Well, I think that it will start with blockchain technologies in general, right? People often confuse blockchain and crypto. That's necessarily the same thing, but it's not. Blockchain is more closer to tokenization, and there's nothing bad about it. It's still highly, I think, untested, because you look how long it takes to test gold and then switch to traditional currencies, right? It will take a long time to test those cryptocurrencies too. But for sure, what we're hearing, and it's what we're just hearing and seeing in the news, and or what regulators share with us, right, is that blockchain is likely gonna come. But it's for now, I see it as a helpful technology. It's good to look into that space, is look to be probably ready for that space, but not necessarily you need to switch or can switch all the systems to that. It will take time and a lot of patience and tests. And same thing will be with crypto, right? I'm a big fan of allowing crypto in kind of regulated environments. So almost like sandbox environment. You release it out there in control space, in control volume, and say, let's try it to control amount of people, right? And then you keep growing. Same what had happened with FinTech, right? FinTech was here since times that companies like Bing started, 2007, right? Long time ago. They did FinTech in a way, in cash space, using agents. And how long it took? Maybe till we came, it was 2017, right? Mid 2017, with cashless, purely cashless. So 10 years of evolution of the FinTech, right? Same thing might happen probably with blockchain and then switch to crypto. It will take a decade before
do you see the NBC beginning to embrace cashless?
I would say they are more progressive than various other central banks. It was last year, we've been to ASEAN Japan Business Forum, and we met some people from fintech space in Philippines and Indonesia and other countries. And when we told them how it's being regulated here, for example, existence of trust account, which is the conservative move. Right. But at the same time, existence of trust account, which is just for people to know, trust account is essentially for fintech cannot operate funds. If you deposit money to PayPay account, we cannot take it and spend it on our investment. We need to keep it locked in commercial bank.
We call it banking customer money.
It's customer money. So in various other sectors, once you get fintech license, you can spend everything. You can utilize it fully. They don't have so many limitations on you. So National Bank here puts that limits on you. But on the other hand, that limits create actually clear divided line between commercial bank and fintech. In other countries, they were complaining that banks and fintech hate each other because they compete. Right. Because fintech can do exactly the same thing with commercial bank. But here, in that conservative view that National Bank had, they had that fence between them, but that fence between banks and fintech actually support their partnerships. Because we're helping banks to get more customers, to get people to understand the technology and help them to gain more financial literacy. And banks help us to protect the funds and get that trust into it. So
it's going to be a pretty interlinked. And I guess it's important to clarify that your license is what's called a payment service provider.
Correct.
So you're actually not a bank
not commercial bank.
But specialized banks have payment service provider platforms as well.
Yes, but they need to apply for permits to do so. Yes.
So really, what on the face of it, as a payment service provider, you're providing a mechanism for making payments. Correct. But also linking things like discounts and
creating the infrastructure between and link between payments and lifestyle.
Right.
Lifestyle is whatever you do from social media up to the purchase online, right? Then it comes to the payment, you facilitate that payment, but ultimately the money is being placed somewhere with the bank. Or it goes to the merchant and then merchant passes it to the bank. So it's creating that entire industry, interlink.
Yeah, so, just to talk a little about there's no secret, there's there are some other platforms out there, and then some others lining up. So it almost
23, 25, I think now.
Really. I only heard of you guys, and I guess DaraPay is one. Wing is another. But Wing doesn't do what you do. It's really.
But they're tapping into it. It's whatever they do, it helps ultimately industry, because there is still when you think about it, and we have now over 250,000 users, 3,500 merchants. That's still a small fraction of the entire space. Right. Even if we get entire Phnom Penh, for example, or entire Phnom Penh of people who are over 18 and under 60, for example, right? We still would be talking maybe about 800, 900,000, maybe million people, right? Not more than that. There's still other 15 million people in Cambodia, right, that you wouldn't be able to capture. And it would take probably a company with $1 billion budget to cover everybody and teach everybody within some reasonable time how to use cashless, right? So more players into it means more education. So
for the early start, but you definitely want to have a market... top market share.
Absolutely. It's usually not in Cambodia, but in small markets, I think that it's number 1 and number 2 players. In bigger markets, it's maximum 5 when you go around in the region, from India to China to Thailand and various other countries.
Well, these also become very regional in a country.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, we're saying it's becoming a little bit interlinked, because banks were also starting to look at wallets,
applications, their mobile apps and everything. Yeah.
Right. So is this? Do you see banks as emerging as competition?
Yes and no. It's easy to see them as competition, because then you see that you have clear overlap, that banking user can use their application to do payment at the merchant using QR code, for example. And you can use PayPay application to do payment at the merchant using QR code. But on the other hand, it comes down to the ultimate benefit and what user is looking for. Long-term funds placement, you will keep it in a bank. If there is payment at the merchant that has no other benefit for you to do it through FinTech, you probably can do it there. But it's likely that with bank and what we experiencing, that banking customers, they do higher value transactions. You go and buy a $5,000 necklace, for example, if you're a top spender in somewhere, it's likely that you will use your credit card, you will use your debit card and a bank account, because that gives you that sense of security, and you have the money in the bank anyway. Where it comes to coffee plus benefits plus loyalty points and operating with coupons and essentially interacting not only on payment side but on the lifestyle side, you will likely tend to use some fintech applications similar to PayPay.
And how are the merchants responding? They see if you're giving these discounts, are they seeing? And you're also giving them marketing. There's no secret about that. Are they seeing increased business?
There is, kind of unwritten competition between us and our merchants often, because in human nature is that you want to keep more things for yourself, right? So it's very hard to prove to anybody that we bring more transactions or not, because it's I'll
tell you what, that's baloney. I'll tell you why. Because I remember when Costa was operating, and we could talk about Costa now, right? Because they're gone.
They've gone. Yeah, okay.
Right. I was interested, and I because I was using PayPay to get my breakfast for my daughter in the morning, and I was asking them how much, what percentage, you don't say percentage because you just say is PayPay being used a lot, and they're saying like 9 out of 10 people were using PayPay.
Okay, fine. So unofficially we could do this research and find out that we helping, and I like to see that we helping, but on the other hand, they helping us too, so I see it as a win-win market.
I mean, like Digby, they also asked them. They
my
said,
favorite restaurant.
One of my favorite sandwich restaurants for sure. They were also saying a large percentage of the 20% discount is quite a significant discount. Yeah. So you had 30 at one time. I would get that back because I was really. But I mean, things like these discounts. It's to use them is actually quite a savings if you're able to do it.
Exactly. Well, and that's 20%, right? But as a banker, you will probably you can recalculate and appreciate even different angle, right? Even if it's, let's say, 10% on average on everything, because sometimes we do 50, you've seen it, but sometimes we do no, right? But if you think that you use cashless, regardless it's us or anybody else, and on average you save 10%. Right, year has 360. On average 5? You can say definitely it's 365 or 360 for easy calculation. So 10% of it is 36 days, right? So in theory, if you save 10% on everything, what do you do on average? right? And you spend just cashless, then you save 36 days of your annual spending.
Right.
Wouldn't that be amazing? If people embrace the full benefits of that cashless, right? And that's why we're doing it. It couldn't start at 1% everywhere, or 5 or 10 only, because people like big discounts, so they come for big discounts. So we give it to them in order to share them the message. Use it more often. You'll find that you save money, regardless it's 1% or 10 or 50. But as long as it balances out, somewhere around 5 to 10%, you're saving a big amount of your annual spending.
So you've come a long way. You did have a very early sort of discount period. It's kind of held back a little bit, so they're not the 30 plus discounts anymore. It's still 10 to 20, which is. But
sometimes we do 50s too. We kind of call it deals of the day now. So we tend to have smaller discounts across the time, all the time. So you can always enjoy something. That's that average spending, average saving, right? 5-10%. Not everywhere, but most of the places. And then time to time for those brands we add. So
I'll ask this because you sort of saw the telecom wars here about 10, 12 years ago, and then still even less than that. And you're kind of a big player now, but there, like you said, there's 25. So I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
It is.
But even more coming in. There's other companies have announced coming in, and I think with some bigger plans and some bigger capital. Do you see a sort of similarity with this, the cell card, smart, Metphone?
If those companies are not careful, or I mean, not those companies excluding us, if the fintech sector is not careful, it can get easily into price war, which happened in telco, right?
Right.
Which ultimately didn't help anybody when you think about it.
Somebody's got to win, though, right?
Somebody got to win, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't help users so much, right? It didn't bring healthy market when it comes to that sector, right? I'm happy as a user because I can get data now very, very cheaply, right? But it came to the point that you don't care about promotions anymore. Or because and you create kind of unhealthy spending habits, same like we started, and that's why we cut it as fast as possible. Because if you think that we teach everybody to spend at 50% discount every single day, right? It's not healthy for you because you will not learn those natural spending habits you have, right? Because suddenly you have double spending limit compared to what you have normally. But what will happen if it stands? It's almost like teaching people to live on loan constantly, always on credit.
That's unsustainable anyway. It's not going to happen. Right. So you're not really that concerned, then, you think?
We are saying not concerned. I think best word would be to describe it. We are aware and we keep looking around, but we are not concerned that we would be scared saying, it will kill everybody. We just think that it will not help the market, but we are ready to stay and keep that number one, hopefully, knocking on the wood here.
This one, the bamboo. We both know that it's very important to be continually changing and being innovative. And you've done a lot of innovation with PipePay, at least since I've seen. So as these new players come in, if you keep getting better and better, keep loyalty with your customer base, which was a problem a bit with the telecoms because people did switch with or had multiple accounts and switched. So, I mean, what's your strategy for innovation and keeping the loyalty of your customers?
You said it right. Innovation is the key, and for us, big things are coming in March, April this year.
You always do this to me. I interviewed you last time. And you said, big things are coming.
And after it came, right? Because we were
it did come, but you don't want to tell us, right?
Then
keep in mind this is going to be in a week or two. So
sure, which is fine timeline to start teasing that this something big is coming, as people say. No, but on innovation, we focused a lot this last year essentially on Phnom Penh and kind of urban areas and more merchant payments, right? We've seen it, using it for restaurants mainly. Right. You don't know yet so much that there are a lot of online shopping options and ticketing. So we're coming a lot into that space. You can already buy tickets on PipePay and do various different things, but major differences becoming to the mass market too. So we are at the stage that we keep growing in Phnom Penh and we will keep pushing that area too, because that's of course our most loyal and earliest adopters are here from Phnom Penh. But on the other hand, we now start focusing on that 15 million people who live outside of Phnom Penh. And we know we will not just be able to do it by throwing and forcing people through discounts or through application and smartphone only, simply because they might not have smartphones yet, or discount on 2,000 real coffee won't be as significant, because even if we 50%, it's just 1,000 real, right? People might not appreciate it much. We're going into a lot of innovations into that infrastructure sector. When it comes to utility payments, when it comes to money transfers, when it comes to essentially not retail payments, but payments that you need to use on day to day to support your family.
Electricity payments. And,
insurance now actually. You can apply for an insurance through PayPay already.
Which companies?
I think at this stage we do AIA, but more of them are coming.
Okay, well, that makes sense. We're not going to get discounts, but
no, but it's convenient. Right. You don't have to go anywhere. You see everything on the app. So
and the telecoms tried that as well with
and some of those companies were successful. I think on those micro insurances and those other things.
Like Bima, I think.
Yes, and Forte and others. Yeah.
So you're not going to let us in anything. Big secret coming out that innovation and
through that side of saying mass market, so smaller payments that will not require that will be much faster. So at this stage you scan QR code, type in, do a lot of things. I can say that by March/April you'll be able to do the payment that will take you less than a second for entire process, as one of the innovations, or that you will be able to buy tickets straight from the app, native, not going to any other website, because now you do it through the app but going to the website. Right. But there will be different things as a native feature. That will be main innovation for us will be that it will be easy to understand for average, even rural area Cambodian. We don't want to be just urban area, well-educated population up. And that's where the main innovation is coming. We've done research, very detailed on even up to how you place your fingers when you type on the phone. And so there's a lot of data coming in.
Face recognition coming in as well? Or?
Soon. We don't believe it yet that much.
And just maybe, hopefully I'm not straying, but maybe there is some correlation. Can you talk about this VC, VR? I mean, it seems to be some chat now about,
you mean virtual reality and those kind of things?
Virtual commerce. Is this something you guys have some plans for?
Virtual or augmented, within that sector. We probably likely will go through augmented reality first before virtual reality. Which concludes your question for previously on innovation. There will be a lot of gamification coming into our app, and gamification is very
we need. More people playing games,
but games that leads towards the making you to use and learn on the application and make the payment ultimately.
So that's sort of gamification.
Correct. In our mind, it's. Unless you use the app, unless you learn how to operate it, it's very difficult for you to be loyal customers or even embrace the benefit, right? So as long as we give you enough reasons to be with us on the application and spend your time there on that app, you will find more and more reasons to actually use it over the cash.
Right. I think probably I'm just assuming, and I'm not very good at making these predictions, but we still have earphones and headsets that connect to the phone. But I guess at some point we'll have those glasses with the phone, which
it's coming more and more. Those virtual reality glasses, augmented reality glasses that you see your screen on it. Initially it was Google Glass, right? I mean,
that didn't work out too well.
They didn't particularly work out, but now you have so many other prototypes, not particularly from Google, but from other providers, and it's I think that 2-3 years and you will have this one.
Samsung will do it. So we've seen. Again, we're talking about when you were first launching, and you were saying now you're up to 250,000.
Yes.
Where do you see this for you guys in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I think around 2.5-3 million. That's roughly what we think that we will have.
And do you have any international plans?
Yes.
Because some of your associates in the market, competitors, have said that they don't want to just be Cambodia. They want to take this out of Cambodia as an incubation stage and bring it to other markets.
Everybody says that, but it's. I can say this, right? We have international plans, but we don't use Cambodia as an incubation only. We use Cambodia as a market. We want to make it. We want to lead. And we want to make a difference on that fintech market to bring the innovation, bring the change, and help people, and help that financial inclusion overall, right? That won't happen if we are just using it as a test market, as an incubation. It's a good test market, it's a good incubation market, but how it helps you and how can you expand internationally? If you incubate in Cambodia, fail here, then you'll go to other country, fail there.
Right.
Now, we want to succeed here. Once we are successful here, for sure we would love to go and expand. But it needs to benefit that country, right? If we expand somewhere, for example, I would see that we expand somewhere where Cambodia has links to, so we can do money transfers between those countries, and that people need it. For example, Philippines, right? And it's not particularly planned. I'm just giving us. You have big Filipino community living here,
right.
or Thailand. We have a lot of Thai workers living in Thailand. I think that if any fintech company expands, it should be to those countries where they can open facility there that helps to send money back to the country they started with, to help to create that bridge, that infrastructure. Because we have been on so many of those fintech meetings and fintech conferences and networking sessions. Everybody tells you, not only in fintech, it's incubation market. Cambodia is incubation market. But you know it from your businesses too.
Yeah.
If you don't focus properly on your businesses here,
sure.
you will never succeed. Right?
And we also are part of our business is private equity and venture capital. So we do get to see a lot of decks, I would say, with this type of stuff. So we look, you look at augmented reality and virtual commerce, and this is pushing big in the U.S. that this is going to happen big time. But I don't know. It's putting on the glasses and go. Because malls are apparently disappearing slowly in the U.S.
Yeah,
and online shopping
is closing, right? And few,
So online shopping has become so big. Amazon is reaping the benefits of that. And the thoughts are you put on these glasses and you go into a virtual store and as part of e-commerce, because it is e-commerce, because then you put stuff in your wagon, and you still pay through a payment system. But the payment systems are taking the initiatives to actually introduce the customer to the store, whether it's a virtual store or not, to get the payment services business. It will happen for sure. Look, I had the pleasure to meet maybe in late December, Dr. Kai Fuli. It's one of the visionaries and a big author and very well educated person in AI, in robotization, automation, artificial intelligence and learning. And he's almost like creating dystopian vision because he's warning people. He likes it. His company builds AI solution, but he always warns people, if you focus only on that, it will be virtual shopping or online shopping only. Think about just implications socially, right? If people don't have to work, if you just sit at home, there's naturally, we have it in those comedies in future that everybody is like kind of floating blob in the space. Well, there was that movie where you just sort of laid down your whole day and everything was virtual.
Because you don't move, right? Yes. You don't have to use any physical activity. And he mentioned one beautiful thing. He said, if we don't start focusing on building other solutions that actually help to service ourselves, to help to teach us about how a lifestyle, right? So instead of just lying down or earning, to have applications that will force you to move and will force you to do some exercise and form of socializing, real socializing, we will just end up as those in those people in those movies. As
that Japanese guy who married that hologram, right?
See, very scary. Right? One day, sooner or later, that particular guy, he might realize, look, he's missing human contact, right? And he loses probably all his connections, all his social connections in real life.
Besides, everybody thinks he's nuts.
There needs to be somebody and some programs and people behind those programs who will then help to find him and help him to get back to normal life. We're walking very dangerous path to me.
Well, I think you're right. So it was worth discussing because when you it is the next extension in the U.S. and I've already seen it. That it's big plans for these virtual shopping. You don't have to get off the couch. And you kind of get into the mall, you get into the store, and you get into the shelves, and you get into the products, and you're just looking at through these glasses without having to. And the malls were a very social thing.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Not many people shop there, but they ate there, So this again, where Amazon's already led to online shopping, and the malls are actually really diminishing in the U.S. So this can be pretty. This culturally and for our future, it's a massive change, and you're going to be in the middle of this. Somehow, how you approach it and how you deal with it is
industrial revolution, that 4.0, right? Industry 4.0. They say it will happen. It's happening, but I think we need to be very careful what we do with it. Without now more than ever, I think that matters what before it was just a saying. just a kind of dogma or stigma for people, and saying I'm having social responsibility programs and everything else. Before it was like you covered yourself. You do branding and CSRs and all other campaigns just to have nice facelift on the company, right? To cover all the other things you do, they are purely commercial. But now more and more companies are actually focusing on they need to create a social responsibility behind, because if not, they will be facing their own diminishment on that one. Their own families will be facing it, right? Yeah. So I think that a lot of millennials now, and what is after millennials? Because it's changed a lot. Generation Z or X, I don't know. I don't know
if I'm going to be around for that.
No, but so that many of those nowadays, right? They saying, Checkma said it from Alipay, right? We need to actually teach people now in schools, not so much about tech, because they will learn it themselves. We need to start teaching people how to have human interactions.
We got to go backwards. That's what we have to do. I mean,
we need to start teaching people how to talk together rather than talk.
We have young children, so when our young children, and my daughter's 5.
My daughter is 4.
Yeah, so when they can get on a phone, take the code, get on YouTube,
does she do it to
favorite program.
Does she do it to you too?
Yeah,
she goes, unlocks my phone without me ever telling her PIN. She kind of observe it and using it for watching Netflix. I saying, where did you learn it?
I got a huge phone bill because they could even subscribe to stuff.
Well, I needed from Play Store, on the Android phone.
They know how to do that.
I needed to remove my credit card there, or like keep, because you need to have the card there. I need to remove one that has no balance in it, because so she cannot simply spend money. She remembers the passwords.
They're incredible, and but there is that importance.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary, but it is the importance of that social interaction, because you do see kids sitting on the couch playing games all day. And I was just making a comment to there was my stepson came home from school, and he was sitting on the couch playing games for 2 hours. And I sort of said, when I came home from school, I couldn't wait to get out of school to play baseball or to play
go
football.
out with your friends and everything else.
And to get some exercise.
But I think, I don't know, in your case maybe not, but in my generation, I think it's our own generation fault. Because with my daughter, it's my fault as well. I taught her since she was young, right? During lunchtime, easiest thing for us, especially when we work and we are busy, we put tablet in front of her and let her watch YouTube, right? So we actually provided her that ability to have that interaction with Facebook. So it's my very fault thing.
Kids quiet and active so they don't annoy them.
But our parents find different ways to keep us quiet, right? And we choose YouTube. So it's our fault sometimes.
Well, we're even in the adults are just as bad. You go into a coffee shop and the wife is on usually the
Facebook,
the fathers are playing games of some sort. I have it on planes. You have 50, 60-year-old guys. They're just playing these games, just to pass the time. And Thailand, you go on the subway. It's insane. Everybody has a phone and is on. So this is where we're at, and it's very unfortunate. But it keeps our minds active, at least in downtime, which is a positive thing. So just in closing. You're on the cusp of really changing how cashless society will work in Cambodia. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's nobody out there doing what you do to the extent you do. And you could argue Wing was sort of, in early stages did certain things, but you guys are a cashless society with merchants. Cashless society with shopping, discounts, which is a big leap over what your competitors have done so far. Where's it going? I mean, where do you want to be? PayPay in 5 years? Is it PayPay International becomes like Visa International? Is it a major payment system globally?
Look, a dream would be for sure. Dream would be to be international and being recognized as a regional player, right? But then everybody has those dreams. If I keep firmly with foot on the ground and we just keep it for the Cambodia, right? 5 years from now, and considering Cambodia mainly. I would want to have, as mentioned, 2.5-3 million users here, being in every single village, every single city, with at least one terminal that not only PayPay transactions are accepted, but international too, through cards, through players like Alipay. We're working with Alipay, WeChat, and others already, right, accepting international transactions. So essentially enable those digital financial services through entire Cambodia. People say, why not focus internationally already on that bigger picture, but just being an entire Cambodia, it's very challenging and long-term mission.
How far are we away from cashless? How many years?
full cashless, like similar to China, for example.
Yeah,
like
80% of the population.
Yeah. Take example for China. Right?
80% of transactions, let's say.
So 10 years.
Is it going to be that long?
I think it won't be it won't be faster. Yeah. To say how far Phnom Penh is away from cashless, 3 years can be. China speed it up very quickly too. But to be in entire country fully cashless, I think that you would have to say 10 years. Yeah.
All right. Well, Thomas, we'll have you back again in about 15 to 18 months.
Oh, I thought 10 years. But
and, thanks for the update. It's been an incredible difference since our last interview. It's been tremendous progress.
And I lost weight.
And you can't believe it. I'm so jealous. You have lost a lot of weight. And that's by discipline, dieting, and exercise, right?
I'm having military diet now. So
keep it off. Keep it off. You look great. And we wish PayPay luck. And what's going to obviously be a crowded market. So fight them off.
Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it for having me here.
Good to see you.
Cheers.
See you next week on Cambodia Business Week.